at it a little bit. Vibrato is a naturally occurring phenomena in our body. It is literally impossible to sing with a straight jump. It's because of how our brain sends signals to our muscles to act. We do not have a direct current like our energy supply. That's just a direct current to our house, right? That's how the lights stay on. Otherwise, they would flicker. But we have the flickering response in our body because that's how we receive information from our brain. Our brain sends a signal to our muscle to react, but it only sends it in bursts and pulses. And so as it goes from the what are those called? Those junctions to give the signal to the muscles to twitch, to do whatever action you're doing, it goes in bursts. And so there's always going to be a little bit of a pulse in our muscle activity. So if you hold your hand out right here, try to hold it perfectly still. You can't because your muscles are constantly receiving that information. That's just a little bit of a tremor that we all naturally have. All right? That's why we have vibrato, because we have sent the signal to our vocal folds and to these muscles here in the front, the cricothyroids, to behave in a certain way, to go to a certain pitch. Everybody's saying, What did you do to get that to happen? You just heard the pitch, got the response, and your brain went, we know how to do it. Boom, and it went to the right length, the right closure, for most of us, and the right volume. It just boom, did that just automatically. That's pretty amazing if you think about it. A very cool response. If we do stuff beyond that, it's going to give us tension, right? And it happens a lot like Richard was saying, is that if we get these muscles in here involved, that's going to create mechanical coupling. Didn't I shake you earlier?
Yes.
I shook her like this, sorry. And because I shook her here, or I shook her arm, but if we get these muscles tense right here, it's going to react on our larynx a little bit too. That's the kind of vibrato that we hear that is uneven or unpleasant. In terms of how much vibrato we like, it just depends on kind of what you're looking for. We can control our vibrato rate and extent. Those are the two factors in vibrato. How many pulses and how far the pulses go. I can go, O come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumph. There's lots of different kinds of vibratos, vibrati. It just is a matter of taste. We have varied how much we can stand over time. Enrico Caruso was a famous opera singer in the early 20th century, and he had a very, very fast vibrato that just doesn't fly today. Pavarotti had like a 5.5 cycles per second, and that seemed to be about what most of us can handle. A slower vibrato than that is kind of what we're going for in barbershop, but we can control that vibrato speed.
And in the past, and a paradigm that many of us still have with barbershop singing, was that we were trying to get to some imaginary zero, and so many muscles were recruited to lock that tone down so that it would not budge, that we had a certain sound that was kind of a strange barbershop hallmark sound that was not a healthy voice. And so where we are for the last 20, 30 years has been to move much towards the freer voice, and we're kind of resetting our ear to what is a freely produced and also unified and ringing ensemble sound.
Yeah, and so most of it comes down to, again, volition. We get to decide how much we want, but what we need to be aware of is, like Richard's saying, these other types of things that contribute to a false vibrato. So the way to control your vibrato is not through calming something down. It's literally just deciding to do it. I know that sounds oversimplistic, but that's really what it is. It is a matter of volition. So raise your hand to here. Now raise your hand higher. You decided to do that, so it did. And that's a matter of training, right? How many of you can write in cursive? How many of you can pole vault? Everybody in here seems to have the requisite limbs. So you are physically equipped to do it, but you don't have the muscle coordination necessarily yet, or strength. I have no upper body strength, so yeah. Yeah, so that makes sense. So it's a matter of coordination, and it's a matter of just kind of training that to happen. You get to decide though. did that in less than 5 minutes, I think. I spoke quickly, and I apologize, but that was a lot of information. Hi, what are you gonna sing?
I thought I'd do something from the other kind of world of singing, which is women's medieval sort of.
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome, cool, look that way,
All
at
right.
George Washington, and, or whoever it is.
O excavatorum opanis angelorum omana celitum asurientes ciba dulcidine non priva corda querentium corda querentium.
Awesome. How did that feel? Is that pretty typical of your singing?
Fairly typical. I actually pitched it a little lower than it's normally sung.
That's right. Is that a good
Mostly
choice?
because I was like, I'm not sure where to start, and then I got into it and was like, nope, lower than it's supposed to be.
Do you want to try part of that again in a slightly higher key?
Certainly. O excavatorum opanis angelorum. That might be a little too high. O excavatorum opanis angelorum omana celitum asurientes ciba dulcidine non priva corda querentium corda querentium.
Love it. We try a couple of things.
Absolutely.
Awesome. I would like to
I
suggest.
am more nervous than I thought I'd be.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's hard, right?
I've been,
It
I've
is.
been nice.
My
I've
leg
been,
is going like this. I'm
I've
like,
been a
what the hell,
positive
man?
delight.
Not you.
It's not me. It's
not
Richard.
you.
Richard, you have to leave. All right, let's try a couple of things, right? Because it's so cool. We just want to add to what you're already doing. First, let's get rid of some phlegm. Go. That was. That was slightly more aggressive than I was suggesting. Can we dial that back just a notch? It's really just kind of shaking. It's not. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. All right. This is Tim the Toolman Taylor time, right? You put your chin down to your chest, or bite your tongue, or whatever, and you get the swallow. Get that crap out of there.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna suggest two things. Is that okay? We'd like to do a little bit of alignment stuff, but we're also gonna do a little bit of Heidi tongue awareness. Is
Okay.
that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Is it okay if I touch?
Yep.
Cool. All right. This is pretty good, right? Her shoulder, hip. Can we now take a look at our new model citizen for the shoulder-hip relationship? And then I'm going to suggest a little bit of a head up in the back. Relax. That. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let me do it. Just hang out. Well, you got a little bit of tension right here.
That's what you think.
Hi, welcome to the neck tension club. Alright, you're just a bit still. Alright, I'll let you do it. Try this one that I had. Did I get us to,
Alan.
yes. Alright, good. Now, hand meets chin. Good. Let it rest. There you go. Relax just a bit more. There. There you go. And think about a squishy tongue. Will you see that again? Still phlegmy, still phlegmy. Don't crush your legs.
Do not know how you're trying to make me do one thing without doing the other.
Right there, that's all. Now put your hand on your chin. There you go, and you're just going to stabilize and keep it there.
O excavatorum opanis angelorum.
We have a sit. Try that seated, please. I would like for you to, like a dude on a subway. Just kind of, yeah.
Man spread.
A man's
There you go. Small man.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I'll do it.
You are the president of the club.
Richard,
It's possible
stop
that during
trying to
music
hold your
therapy
lips in.
sessions that there's
Like-
a fair amount of man spread happening.
Yeah.
like this is a woman pretending to man spread. This is like actually what it looks like.
We need to own
That's
this.
really unfortunate.
And then there's the
I'm
smile.
gonna send that part of the.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so, will you relax your abdominal muscles? Just kind of let it,
I think they are.
good. A little bit more height in the back. There you go. Telescope the back up. There you go, without crushing your larynx. All right, now just take a. Now say, what are the words to this song?
O esca viatorum,
O
opanis angelorum.
O esca vidatorum.
O esca viatorum.
Cool. Sing that.